Welcome to episode 7.49 of the Grumpy Brothers podcast. I am Chris Ludvigsen, joined by Ted. Say hey, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Thank you to our listeners. Please subscribe and listen on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or Odyssey. Also, please follow us here on millions.co. Today is all football. We begin with the first round of the college football playoffs, and then we go to our weekly NFL review with game picks. Before we get to that, Ted, what's making you grumpy today?
So we talk a lot about commercials,
Yes.
and this commercial has been on for a while now. I think I've seen it at least since the World Series. It's a bank ad where a guy wants to do his kitchen. Have you seen this? He keeps talking about we're going to do a new kitchen. We're going to update our kitchen. We're going to renovate our kitchen. And he
Vaguely.
goes through a series of different situations where he's talking about his kitchen.
Yes. I know the one you're talking about now. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Do your kitchen. Enough. This guy's been on for, he's been on for like 6 months. Do your kitchen. Go to the bank, get the loan. They apparently they have great rates or something. I hope there's I hope there's a Super Bowl ad. One of the long ones where it's like 2 minutes, where we get to see the guy's kitchen and they get to tell us how great his how much he got to upgrade his kitchen because he went to I think it's Chase, because he went to Chase to get a loan or whatever. Please, somebody knock down a wall. Do something.
Okay, Ted, I've got a great idea for that. Be like a company that does like home repair, and show that guy, and then like he plugs the toaster in and the wall explodes and says, "Hey, once you get your loan, make certain you go to the right guy."
Well, you could do that, yeah. Or you could be a home repair service that shows what, work in conjunction with the bank and show what kind of really nice thing you could do. But please do your kitchen. I've had enough. When at some point he goes in the ad, he goes, "Don't even get me started on quartz. Don't even get me started on your kitchen. Done." Enough. Oh well. That ad has just started to drive me enough. It's just enough. Make a decision, go get a loan, and do your kitchen.
A good decision today is better than a great decision tomorrow, right?
I don't know about that always, but at some point you have to make a decision.
Exactly. You got to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Ted, this year for New Year's, we've accepted a gracious invitation from the executive producer's older brother to come visit and spend some time with him down in South Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah. And included in the visit is a New Year's Eve party.
Okay.
Now, judging by the executive producer's older brother, I expected that this event would have some type of, you're not wearing a polo shirt and a pair of jeans to this event. More than
No, I
likely.
wouldn't think so.
So I say to the executive producer one night, "What's the dress code?" And she says, "Okay, I'll check and get back to you." So the other night I say to her, "Hey, any word on the dress code?" And she says, "Oh yeah, it's cocktail party attire."
Wow.
Here's my problem.
What is
cocktail party attire?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have.
I'm trying to think of the movies from like the 50s and 60s and what a cocktail, and that almost looks like a little bow tie and
I got no clue. I said elaborate
I
for me.
I think modern day is you come in a essentially in a jacket without a tie.
Okay, so that's the question.
That would be my guess.
Tie or no tie is the question. But a nice blazer, a nice pair of slacks.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going for. Yeah,
exactly.
And it's in South Carolina. Maybe you can wear a blazer with shorts. I'll bet you can get away with wearing like the tennis shoes with a semi-suit kind of deal.
Now,
I bet
Ted,
you can get away with that.
I have to tell you, I should have had them ready to show you. I did purchase some of the, because when I make sales calls now, it's not very. I'm going into a lot of
Yeah,
manufacturing settings, so it's I'm not wearing coat and ties to those kinds of places. So I did buy. Now it's not. They're not the black with the white, but it's like the cordovan, like the
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think you can get away with those.
So I wear those with my khakis now, and it cuts.
Yeah,
quite...
I think that's where you're going with that, and a jacket. I think that's my guess, because as you can tell, I'm the guy you would come to with
for dress code
with sartorial and attire questions. With those kinds of questions, I'm definitely the go-to.
So Ted, do you remember the program Queer Eye for the?
Yeah.
So here you go, Ted. There's another spinoff of the Grumpy Brothers Sports Show.
Yeah.
Grumpy Brothers sartorial advice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think
from a guy wearing a hoodie every Sunday.
Yeah, right. I think that what would really kick off your deal here and finish it off would be a hat like Cam Newton wears where his hair's coming out. Because it's a New Year's party theme, so get yourself a hat with the holes in it,
with the feathers and the cover
and the hat. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't really have you can't pull off the hair coming out, but you can probably get a wig.
No, I'm talking about the feathers that come off the top.
I think that's too much. I think that's a little too much. Just the hat with your hair coming out of it.
So now on the whole hat situation, when we went to Italy, I went round and round trying to find an appropriate European style hat.
Yeah.
And every one that I got was either the brim was too wide, the brim was too narrow. I ended up, first day we were in Rome, I bought a AFC Roma baseball cap and walked around in that.
Yeah. Okay. You had to have something to cover your head. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, it's true. The fedora type look is tough if you're not used to wearing it. Yeah, you got to get used to that, I would think.
Yeah, I just couldn't quite pull it off, and I was really close, and I almost pulled the trigger a couple times, but one of the ones I got home, I ordered from Amazon. It was basically the exact same hat that my wife had in a smaller size, and I thought to myself, "Wait a second,
that doesn't look right." No.
They call it a unisex hat, but still,
yeah, no, you can't have that.
The executive producer looks good in all hats. I don't know what it is. She just,
well, some people are hat, or
with the wide brim and
some people
it's a great
it pulls. Some people can pull it off. Some people, it's just not a good look for them. Yeah,
so. I can barely pull off the baseball hat these days, but well.
Anyway. Oh well, no, I think we settled your thing. I just don't think you have to wear a tie. I think you would dress like you. That would be my guess anyway.
All right, Ted, here we go. I'm going to see if this works. I've been thinking about this for all of 30 seconds to see if I can make this work. You ready? Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Come on.
Hey, nice.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Not bad.
Just
like a control board. Man,
exactly.
It all.
Exactly. Okay, Ted. Last week, we discussed Andre Johnson as the leading receiver and touchdowns for the Texans. Ted, and to wrap up one issue from last week, the Texans are currently in their 24th season of play.
Oh, wow. That's a long time now.
Okay. Let's go to another.
They're almost a legitimate franchise.
I think you have to get to at least a Super Bowl or maybe even at least conference championship.
No, I mean, then the Lions wouldn't even be considered a legitimate, so no, I mean, although they've got a long history, but yeah.
All right, Ted, let's go to another of the fairly young franchises, the Panthers, in their 31st season.
Yeah.
And they are tied now for the lead in the NFC South. I don't quite figure out how. They did beat my Packers. But
because the division is no good, that's how.
This is true. This is true. Ted, who leads the Panthers franchise in passing, receiving yards, and touchdowns?
I have Steve Smith.
There you go, Ted. Excellent.
Oh, wow. I was about to say I have absolutely no idea, and then I'm sorry, Steve Smith Sr.
That's right, Ted Smith. Yes, I love it when they put the senior on the back of their jersey.
Yeah, they've got a 3-year-old. Yeah.
God bless, Steve. I feel great for you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you and your significant other, and I'm sure he's a fine young lad. But yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to know. Yeah.
Okay, Ted. Here's some other interesting names from the past. You ready?
Yeah.
Number 2 on the receiving yards and touchdown list. You remember Muhsin Muhammad?
Yeah. Okay.
Big receiver. I think he played with Jake Delhomme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 3 on the yards and number 4 on the touchdowns is the very good tight end Greg Olson,
Right.
who
Okay.
I
Yeah.
believe should still be the number 1 Fox
Well, of
broadcaster.
course he should be. Of
He's much better
course.
than Tommy, much better.
Yes.
And by
Yes.
the way, Ted, I don't know if you knew this. Greg Olson coaches a middle school football
Yeah.
team.
Okay.
Guess who his assistant coach is?
I Cam Newton.
Luke Kuechly.
Oh, wow.
Could you
Wow.
imagine? I mean, do you remember highlight films of Luke Kuechly literally calling out the opposing team's offensive
Wow.
plays?
Yeah, yeah. I just would hate to be the guys that would go over and talk to him, the coaches on the other teams before the game.
Like, what do you say to two? I mean, Luke
Right.
Kuechly, if his career hadn't been cut short, he was a legitimate Hall of Famer, and Greg Olson was a very, very, very good
Yeah. Right.
tight end. Number 4 on the list, now with the Bears, and we're going to talk about him in a little while, DJ Moore. He's 4th on the list in
Wow.
receiving yards.
Well, he didn't play that for him that long.
Exactly. Well, only 31 years, Ted. And number 5, do you remember the name Wesley Walls, another tight end? I think
Again,
he
vaguely.
I think he
Vaguely.
might have played with Delhomme also.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
The fascinating thing, number 6 on the receiving yards list is Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So there you go. Okay. Let's go to college football here, Ted. And I don't think we need to discuss in much length either the Ole Miss Tulane game or the Oregon JMU game. They both went,
Yeah.
I think, as expected.
Yeah.
Correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's 34. I mean, somebody asked me today how much, what the final score of the Oregon game was. And I told him, and they go, well, that's not that bad. I said, no, it was 34-6 at halftime. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. I mean,
So
James
the
Madison played, I guess, better in the second half, or was the second team in the game? I don't know. But yeah.
so the combined score is 92-44.
Yeah.
Now, just to get on my soapbox again about 2 issues.
Here we go.
This is an illustration why the selection committee criteria has to change. This is not fair in a couple different levels, and let me give you what bothers me. First of all, it's not fair to Texas, BYU, and Notre Dame, who, while they're not great teams, are clearly much better teams than either JMU or Ole Miss or Tulane.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you would expect that you would have had a more competitive game.
Right.
Yes.
Now, the other thing I don't think is fair about this, Ted, is you now make Alabama, Oklahoma, Miami, and Texas A&M play real games against real opponents to get by, whereas you basically give a first round bye, basically a glorified scrimmage to Oregon and Ole Miss.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, on the other hand, it's not like it's a guarantee that it's not a blowout. I mean, there have been other games in that tournament, even when there were only 4 teams, that have been blowouts. It can happen. The odds were just less, and it certainly was less. It was certainly should have been. It would have been more physical, I think, or more wear and tear on Oregon and on Ole Miss, even in a win, just banging up against the bigger guys.
I caught a little bit of my JMU Dukes, my alma mater, and at one point I can't remember. Oh, it was Louis Riddick was announcing the game as the analyst, and clearly he knows football.
Yeah,
And JMU had the ball, and I think there was a holding penalty on this particular pass play. And Louis Riddick said, the JMU offensive linemen don't have the athleticism and the foot quickness. I mean, people don't realize one of the
right,
critical elements of playing offensive linemen at an elite level is quick feet.
right. In
And
short, in a compact space,
right. And basically what he said is their offensive linemen simply don't have the athleticism to compete with the athleticism of the Oregon kids.
right, right. That's probably, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's a fair assessment. Yeah,
And this is what I keep on saying. When you have 68 teams in the college basketball team tournament, okay, let the little guy in. I don't have a problem with it. But when you only have 12, or if you even go to 16, you can't let guys come in just because you feel good about it.
well, this is it's what do you want to, I for lack of a better term, I'm not it's not, but it's kind of like, eh, they're just they feel that they have to give everybody a chance. And in basketball, one good player, one great player can at least make the game competitive.
Well,
And
you
give
remember the year Davidson made a run to the Elite Eight because of Seth Curry.
Well,
Stephen Curry.
I'll give you a better example than that, and it was a longer. Indiana State does not go to the final game without Larry Bird.
Yeah.
No chance, none, zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Michigan State probably doesn't win that year without Magic Johnson. I mean, they had a nice team, but Magic, but one guy can make a difference. The only way one guy makes a difference really in football is if it's the quarterback and you have everything all set up and you drop the quarterback in and it clicks,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, no, I understand the argument. The NCAA is trying to be they're trying to run it like the basketball program. Doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
football. It's different.
Two different sports. Two different sports. Okay, let's go to the games that were actually games. Let's begin with the Friday night game that was actually entertaining. Alabama goes to Oklahoma, revenges its
Yeah.
regular season loss, comes from 17 down,
Yeah.
17 nothing down for a 34-24 win. Now, Ted, I was beginning to hear Kalen DeBoer may not be a fit in Alabama, and I'm not certain if he is or not. I think he's a very good coach. I think I might have whiffed on that one when I said I thought he would be a great candidate there. I don't know that he's a great. I don't know if he works there because the team, while it was a very good win, and this I lost, I think this win will stop the possible is Kalen DeBoer the best candidate for Michigan now
Yeah.
talk. I think that slows that talk down. But this is clearly not the same Alabama team. They're not nearly as physical. They only rush for 54 yards with their running backs, average
Right.
only
Yeah.
3 yards a game. They play a very finesse offense now with
Right.
Kalen DeBoer, which is not Alabama football.
But their defense, once they got started in the second quarter, was all over Oklahoma.
Okay, now, Ted, I think this game came down to three things. The first Bama touchdown on fourth down from about the 6-yard line.
Right. Yeah.
Then the pick six near the
You're
end of the
right.
first half.
Yes.
Those two plays combined turned the momentum of the game. But the
Yes.
other thing, in the first couple of series that Oklahoma had the ball, it seemed to me the offensive or the Alabama defensive strategy was rush with 4, defend with 8. And Mateer was eating a sandwich back there waiting for someone to come open.
Right.
And he's not a great thrower of the ball, but he's good enough that if you give him that much, like when he missed that kid that was wide open on the long corner route and just sailed it 10 yards over his head, you went, okay, this is not an NFL level throwing quarterback. He's a nice college quarterback, and I get why he's been productive. But then in the second quarter and on is like the defensive coordinator said, okay, that's not working. And we might lose 38-0, but we know we're going to lose if we keep doing what we're doing now. And he basically said, we're coming after him. And he started blitzing, putting pressure on him. And that changed the game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Alabama was all, I mean, I would say the same thing about Oklahoma. Oklahoma really rushed the Alabama kid too. You know, it got less as the game went on. Alabama either made an adjustment or something happened because they gave him a little more time in the second half.
I think Ty Simpson is a 3rd or 4th round draft pick. And if he gets dropped into the right spot, he could be a little Mac Jones-esque. I think he's a good thrower of the ball. He has enough athleticism to move around. He's big. I like his decision-making. I like his demeanor. I don't know that he's an elite first-round quarterback, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to give Alabama a lot of credit for hanging in there and turning it around.
Yeah.
On the road. This was not a bowl game or a neutral site. This is on the road in front of 80,000
hostile Oklahoma crowd. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that was rocking and rolling.
Yes, it was
in the first quarter, and then slowly kind of went away. But yeah, it was entertaining.
Yes, it was.
I don't think that either one of those teams is going to win the national title.
Now,
because obviously Oklahoma isn't. But
I saw a guy post on Twitter today, and I couldn't agree with this more. One of the things I also don't like is the seeding. So now you've got Alabama playing Indiana.
Yeah.
Whereas you have Oregon, the 5 seed, gets Texas Tech is not an easy game. I don't know. I'm not certain that
there aren't any easy games.
No.
But and this does happen in the basketball tournament. Occasionally, the 1 seed or the 2 seed gets, blows out somebody in the first round, and then all of a sudden they're playing a team that underperformed during the regular season, but is pretty good.
A Michigan State team that plays everybody in the regular season and
Right.
has 12 losses. They play in a tough Big Ten conference and
Right.
they come in with 12 losses and they're a good
And
team.
they're a 7 or an 8
Yeah.
seed or something like that, and all of a sudden the number 1 seed has Michigan State in the second round, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What? How'd
How do we
that
get
happen?"
this? How do we get this team?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the other competitive game. It wasn't an interesting
Competitive,
game. It was a
yeah.
competitive game. Miami gets a late interception in the end zone to hold on for a 10-3 win against Texas A&M. Ted, back on my soapbox. This is a perfect illustration why 4 teams was all we needed in the college football playoff. If these are the 7th and 10th best teams in the country, why do they need to be involved in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I think Texas Tech or Texas A&M was, at towards the end of the year, a lot of people were saying their schedule wasn't very good early in the year, and then the Texas game and then this game sort of maybe it indicated that yeah, they were a little bit of a mirage. And
I thought the
Miami. What
quarterback
what
was.
was
I thought Reed was a better player, and he made some nice plays down the stretch, but then he threw the stinker in the end zone. So I don't know about him
But,
either.
and what did Miami play back at Halloween? Was that their last game? I mean, when they haven't been, that's part of what's wrong with the college football setup in its entirety. Miami should have never been in this tournament. Never, never, ever. They couldn't even make their conference championship game. So if you're going to have, they had 4 conference championships games. So Indiana, Ohio State played. Was neither one was going to miss the tournament, right? Virginia and Duke play, and neither one was ever really going to get in. Virginia, maybe if they had won,
I think
might have
Virginia would
gotten
have
in,
gotten in if they had made it. Yeah.
but they made, I mean, Duke was never going to get in.
No.
So then, how can you invite somebody that didn't even play? And then you had what was it, Georgia and Alabama plays terrible, had a bad day, and still gets in. So and what was in Texas Tech and BYU, and that was really the only in or out game.
Yeah.
And that was only for BYU. Well, I guess Tech. I don't know if Texas Tech had lost, they might have gotten in. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but BYU was definitely an in or out game. So the 4 major conference championship games essentially were, except for BYU, were meaningless. They were just money grabs. And I still don't understand how you can justify putting in a team that didn't play that weekend.
Well, then Oklahoma shouldn't have been in either.
Okay. All right, fine. That's okay with me.
But see, Ted, this is what I'm getting back to is though,
It's too many teams. It's too many teams.
Okay, but if you start getting a bid to the conference championship game a criteria for getting into the the playoffs in a conference like the SEC, then you only have 2 teams that are going to get in. Then you're only going to get 2 teams from the Big Ten in, and then you're going to really be left with a lot of dreck at the end of those 12 teams.
Well, then why are we playing the conference championship games at all?
Well, we know why.
Well, I know why.
The same reason we still play the college basketball tournaments, which mean even
here's
less.
here's the thing. Okay, so this is what I guess what I'm really trying to say. If you play the conference championship game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Duke has to go. Duke has to go because it has to matter. The winner of the game has to go, has to be your representative for that league. It has to be. Miami shouldn't get a 3-week vacation and then come in and play. Now they may lose their next game, but they still shouldn't have been in.
Well, let's put it this way. So my understanding is by rule, the committee has to take the top 5 the top 5 conference winners. So that's why both Tulane and JMU both got bids, because they put Tulane and JMU they put both of those teams above Duke. So by rule, you have to put in.
But okay,
so that's why both of those Tulane and JMU both got in.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
to your point,
the rule is though, and I understand part of the rule is that you have to win your conference but you still have to be rated like 16th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then then why is Duke in the game?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
All
by
right,
the
you
way,
were gonna say something else. So I'm sorry.
the ACC has already announced that they're changing the criteria for who gets into the championship game, but a season too late. But anyway, Ted,
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
if the point is to get the 12 best teams,
Yeah.
then the current criteria has to be changed
Well,
because
then
we don't have the 12 best teams, not even by a long shot.
well, then use the rating system that you've been using all year to rate the teams.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But then you're essentially saying, I mean, then you're actually telling everybody the conference championship games don't mean anything.
The slight change, the one thing that you could do to make that a little different, Ted, what you could do is you could say, okay, these 8 teams before the conference championship games, after the regular season is over,
Yeah.
you have those 8 teams. You say these 8 teams are in, right?
Yeah. Right.
Then you take the next 8 teams and you say, instead of playing conference championship games, you play a play-in game in lieu of the conference championship game. So maybe you have Texas playing Notre Dame, and maybe you have BYU playing Oklahoma, and the
Okay.
winners of those 4 games get the last 4 spots.
Okay. Okay. Because, you know,
Because you got to give something back to the TV networks when they lose the money from the conference championship games.
well, and that's fine. And I guess it's similar because the teams that were in this again, Miami and Oklahoma both got a break, but because they were off for a month physically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, if you take the 16 and take the last 4 to okay, all right.
And that play-in round replaces the conference championship games.
Fine, or whatever it is. The top 8 are in, and then yeah, that's fine.
You use the computer ratings for the top 8. The next 8 are in the play-in game, and if you want to make 1 or 2 of those, give one of those slots to the non-Power 5 schools. Fine, make Tulane play
Notre Dame or whoever.
Right, exactly. Whoever the ninth rated team is gets to play Tulane or JMU, whomever you want to give that last spot to.
Because if the top 16 are all the power conferences anyway, then team 16 or 15s had plenty of chances and they just didn't get it done. So yeah, I would be okay with that. Send that off to the NCAA and the TV networks.
I'll get right on that.
And tell them that we fixed your problem for you and that
as we always do.
As we routinely do, just listen to us and you'll be fine. Yeah.
So Ted, one thing about Miami, 2 things about Miami. Before he left Georgia, at one point last season, I saw Carson Beck as a possible first-round draft pick. No. Ted,
against the big teams, he's
average.
Yes, yeah, he throws the ball really well.
Yes.
Is he the modern day Jeff George?
I don't think he throws it as well as George, but I get the point.
Well, Jeff George. I mean, Jeff George threw it extraordinarily well.
How about Jay Cutler?
Yeah. Okay.
Jay Cutler. Okay. All right, Ted. I want to say one other thing about Miami. If I am Mario Cristobal, the head coach of Miami.
So what do they got? Ohio State? Is that who they play?
They
either have to play Ohio State or
yes,
Texas Tech.
Yes, they play Ohio State.
Yeah, good luck.
If I'm Mario Cristobal, I like the halfback Fletcher, and I really like the wide receiver Tony. Those 2 guys have to touch the ball 25 to 30 times.
Well, in Tony's case, you have to at least attempt to get him the ball, right?
Well, I want to do jet screens,
reverses, whatever, anything. Yeah.
Put him in the backfield. Do the orbit motion where you run a little fake to the halfback and you pitch it to him going wide. He's got to touch the ball a lot. Ted, I was thinking about
this is Deebo Samuels with the 49ers.
Okay, Ted, here's what I was thinking about. In the most simplified version, shouldn't offensive play calling at any level be get the ball to your best players as much as possible?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you did at Calverton?
Oh, well, okay. That's a little different. Yeah.
But it worked for you guys, right?
It did work. Yeah.
You guys had 3 really good players and you got the ball to them all the time.
Well, as much as I could. Yeah. Yeah. I certainly wanted it out of my hands.
All right, Ted, scoot back into the middle a little bit. You're going off to your side again. Okay. All right, let's go to the NFL, Ted.
You just threw me off with a 50-year reference. 55-year reference or
Ted,
whatever.
You had a couple guys. All I can remember is when they threw me in as the fullback in the wishbone for about 4 or 5 games that one season.
Yeah.
all I did was block. And like generally by about late in the third quarter, I'd have that look on my face and you'd say to me, okay, you get it once.
Well,
And you,
yeah,
and
I
you,
think I gave it to you more than once, but
no,
yeah.
I think it was about once a game. And
Well,
I would get the ball and I'd run about 1 yard and I'd get stopped. And I come back to the huddle and you look at me and go, that's why Richard and Steve get the ball all the time.
that's true. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
1 yard and a mini cloud of dust when young Ludvigsen was taking the fullback dive.
What was funny about that, really, if you think about, I'm sure if we could had seen it from a bigger picture, there was a hole.
Somewhere.
The hole was there, but it just took you a while to get through it. And by then the defense had recovered. So
Also, I think I was so worried about where I was going that I just put my head down. So if the hole was there, if I'd maybe had my head up and turned a half a step to the right, I would have seen it. But I was,
yeah. Well,
that play was designed to go in that gap. That's where I was going, baby.
And your pants were a little long, so you probably dragging a little bit on. There was a little excess weight there. It hindered you. You were like running with your shin guards on.
You can put all the excuses in the world on it, Ted, but the results were still the same.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. I'll end it with this. We didn't try to get you the ball in space.
I was not good at making people miss.
No. We didn't put you in motion to throw a screen pass or anything. No.
A little bubble screen to the fullback.
Or the nobody had thought of it. Nobody had really thought of it then. The middle screen.
Could you imagine Dad's head would have exploded?
Well, yeah, he probably would have. Yeah.
What are you doing out there? And you'd look over and go, we're winning 28-0. Give me a break.
Well, that would have been the excuse. That, he didn't like to run up the score.
No, that would have been the antithesis to running up the score.
Well, that's what I would have been able to say. Hey, Dad, look, you don't want us to run up the score. So,
oh God, oh, memories.
Yeah, that was you were that was the day we played in Potomac on the first Thanksgiving Day.
Yes,
we were using that. Yeah, when we got ahead, I don't know, it was because we didn't do the first half.
The first half we were playing on an ice rink.
Yeah, right. It was frozen, and then when Quentin told me at halftime that he was getting footing, and I was like, okay, if Quentin's getting footing, everybody's pretty much going to be getting footing. And we started to do some of the stuff that we weren't able to do in the first. And we had, I don't remember what we won by 20-0 or whatever it was.
Yeah. We won comfortably in the second half.
And the last series, when we got the ball at some point, like in the fourth quarter before I went out there, Dad was like, yeah, no more of the fancy stuff. Just drive. If we drive it down the field, running between the tackles, fine. But otherwise, we're not doing. And I'm looking at him, what? We're trying to score here. And he's like, no. They invited us. We're not gonna. Yeah. We're not gonna run them out of their own building after they invited us. So that made sense.
All right, let's go to the NFL, Ted, and begin with the very good game where the Bills come roaring back, also from 17 down at halftime for what was a critical 35-31 win for them. Last week, we discussed the strength of the Bills' run offense against the strong Pats' run defense and the average Pats' run offense against the poor Bills' defense. Both offenses were great.
Yeah.
The Bills rushed for 168, and Trevion Henderson from the Ohio State University goes for 148, and the Pats run for 246.
Well, that's the thing, though. Henderson had two
long runs, yeah.
And the thing is, if he gets in space, he's gone. Yeah. Does he have, like, would you say he has Olympic speed? Because you watch that and you're like, nobody catches him.
Yeah.
They have.
I don't think he has Olympic speed, but he's pretty fast, and so they have big play capability. But I'm not sure if you took those two runs away. Yeah, that's true.
They're not 246.
No.
They're more average. But that was a big gut check for the Bills. So
now, Ted, this game
that they passed.
This game comes down to two things to me. One, Josh Allen showed why he's the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, they needed him to put the cape on, and he did it.
The fourth touchdown I remember specifically because the play before they scored and there was a holding penalty. So they
Right.
went back to like the 15-yard line. He drops back to pass. The Pats get a good pass rush on him. He breaks a tackle in the backfield, rolls to the right, and on the sort of half run throws an absolute laser beam into a tiny little
Right.
window
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
touchdown. And you just looked at it and went, okay, that's why he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's why anything can happen with him. It's they can score from anywhere because he can make every throw and he can get away from the pass rush because he's almost as big as all of them anyway, so
Yeah.
you can shake him off. So
Ted, the other thing that I noticed about this game is the Patriots simply don't have enough offensive weapons. Diggs,
no,
Diggs, they hold the Bills hold Diggs to 3 catches for 26 yards. Hunter Henry's a nice player, and Henderson, like we talked about, is a very good halfback, but they need another weapon on the outside.
yeah, and yeah, because if you're playing them, the idea and May's not really a running threat. I mean, he can run some, but
Yes.
it's not his thing. If you can contain Diggs, then there's no deep threat on the pass, really. The deep threat is every time Henderson touches the ball, and he can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. So,
Yeah.
that's the you got it's almost like if he goes right, you got to have one or two guys hanging back on the left side because if he turns the field, he's
Well,
gone.
on the second touchdown, which was their only score in the second half, it
Yeah.
was a pitch to the right. It got completely bottled up. I mean, he literally came to a standstill, and then he found the space on the left. And to your point, he was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's go to the Rams and the Lions. The Rams outscore the Lions 24-10 in the second half for a 41-34 win. This one to me went as the script that we thought it would when we discussed this game, which was it was a game of offenses.
Yeah.
Um, the Lions put up 389 total yards and 34 points and lose because the Rams get 519 yards and 41 points.
Lions can't stop anybody. They couldn't stop the run or the pass. I mean, I'd like to see the Lions make the playoffs. I'd like to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl because they haven't been, and I like the way they play. But you got to stop somebody. You got to play some defense, and they just
Yeah,
can't.
and Ted, one of the things I didn't understand about the second half was the Lions were still in the game, but they only ran the ball 20 yards and they only get 70 yards on the ground. Now, one of the things that I've said in the past that I don't like about the Rams and got super exposed in this game was their defensive secondary.
Yeah,
Ted, Amron St. Brown and Jamison Williams for the Lions combined for 20 catches, 291 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
that's a pretty good day. You should win. You should win if your wide receivers do that. You should win. I just you got to stop somebody.
Yeah. The Rams defense was not great. They did stop Gibbs from scoring from winning the game with big plays. He touches it 17 yards, 17 times, only gets 58 yards. But now, Ted, the Rams follow that up on a short week, go up to Seattle and
Yeah,
lose to the Seahawks in a very good game, 38-37.
they should have won that game. They should have won that game. That was I mean, first of all, you put 37 up on Seattle or anybody on the road, you should win. But, the first quarter, they have at one point they said I think that Al Michaels said they had run 34 plays and Seattle had run 11 and they're only winning 6-0 because they couldn't punch it in twice. They give up they missed the field goal at the end when it was tie, right? And in between, they give up a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think I saw that they've set a record for like most yards offense in a game in offense with a loss. They were
Mm,
again over 500 yards.
yeah.
They had to win that game. They should have won that game.
Now,
And all credit to Seattle for hanging in there. And Darnold had a couple of bad interceptions again, and he just kept plugging away. They kept doing it, and they took advantage of the breaks, and good on them.
yeah. Ted, couple of things that I noticed watching these two games. First with the Rams. Puka Nakua impresses me more and more every time I watch him. He might have the strongest receiving hands that I've ever seen. There was one ball, I think it was against the, I can't remember which game it was, the Lions or the Seahawks, but he had that defender all over him. It was like a 3rd and 4, and they threw him just a quick little slant.
Yeah,
And the defender was all over him, but he, that 50-50 ball, not a 50-50 ball with Puka.
not usually. No, no.
So, and Ted, I don't quite understand how someone with, I would say, average speed at best is such a significant downfield receiver option, Ted. In this game, he gets against the Seahawks. Puka goes for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns without Devontae Adams on the other side of the field to
Right, right.
spread the defense around. Um,
Well, I mean, I think that's route running, right? And route running and good play design.
yes, yes, I think the play design is critical. I think, to your point, you've often said you have to run it enough, and I don't think Kyron Williams or Blake Corum are either really, really great running backs, but they're both tough running the ball between the tackles, and they run it enough and enough times successfully that when they do the play action pass, and
It,
Ted,
it's a you have to respect it. Yeah, that's the thing.
and the use of the 3 tight ends with 1 wide receiver is fascinating to me. How successful they are with big plays on that. McVay is about as good. I I really like Colin Cowherd, and he goes on and on about Andy Reid's play calling and play design. I'm sorry, Sean McVay is the best play designer in the NFL right
Well,
now.
the here to me the difference is, and I'm not going to pick, say one's better than the other, but the thing is with Mahomes, he's much more mobile than Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's not that mobile. I mean, he can move around. I'm not saying that he can't, but you also really don't want him moving around because of his age and his back history and all that. So you really want him to get rid of the ball in the 3 seconds out of the pocket, and try not to get hammered every time. Whereas Mahomes starts running around uh, I that's not really play design
That's
at
just a
some
great
point.
player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Um, so Ted, after watching the Lions and the Rams and the Rams and the Seahawks, and then we're also going to talk about this with the Packers and the Bears coming up when we talk about some Packer games here soon. I can't tell who I think is the best team in the NFC.
No. If the Rams play something resembling defense, I still think it's them. But, these 2 games, I mean, the Lions are a high scoring team. They were going to give up points. The Seahawks, I don't know that I would consider them going into the game an offensive powerhouse. And, so I just think if you put up 37 on the road against a good team, you should win, or against any team, you should win, you know.
The Eagles have won 2 in a row now against the Raiders and the
Well,
Commanders. So I don't know, but they're still right there.
Well, the thing about the Eagles is getting those 2 wins, maybe it starts, them doing what they're supposed to do, maybe.
Uh, and Ted, the team that I poo-pooed at the beginning of the year, and I still don't think they're a great team, but the Niners are sitting right there, and they have
Yes.
a Week
Yeah.
18 game against the Seahawks that could decide the NFC West and maybe even the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, yeah. The 49ers have quietly put together a really good year.
And one thing I do agree with Colin Cowherd on is that if you gave an award for the best overall coaching staff performance of a season, with what Kyle Shanahan is doing on offense with Ayuk out,
Yeah.
uh, and with a
Purdy
backup
missed
court,
a lot Purdy missed a lot of time.
right? And what Robert Saleh has done with Bosa gone, with Warner gone, I am really, those 2 guys combined are about as good as it gets as a
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, their Super Bowl trips have Salah was there for at least one of
Yeah,
them, right? Yeah,
yeah,
so
exactly. All right, let's go to my Packers, Ted. And first, the when they go to Denver and lose,
yeah.
having a really tough weekend. The Broncos outscored the Packers 20-10 in the second half for a 34-26 win. My guy Micah Parsons lost for the season with a knee injury.
Well, in that game, I have to give I've always kind of like Bo Nix is okay kind of thing, but he was great. He was
Yes,
great. He saved the day for them. He made
23 for 34, 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Well, not only that, but I mean I don't know how many times he saved the drive or whatever by converting on third down, by moving around and extending plays, as they like to say. And but for your Packers, how about you run the ball? No commitment at all to running the ball when they were, they were actually succeeding a little bit at it. And then they just kind of said, okay, it's much more fun to throw it. So
So
okay.
here's my comment about the Packers, Ted, and specifically the quarterback position. As they've made a nice little run here at the end of the year, I've heard people say Stafford is an MVP candidate, Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. What about Jordan Love? Because the Packers
Yeah.
are coming on and he's been playing well. And there are times he gives you little chunks of play and you go, oh, wow, he's elite. And then he has a second half like he did against the Broncos where he throws 2 interceptions that are just
Yeah, they
crushing.
were yeah, they weren't great. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just he can there are times he can make plays that just wow you, and the other times you go, "What were you thinking?" And,
I will say that yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think that with Micah out, I think they could have won a Super Bowl with what was, I don't wanna say a dominant defense with when Micah was playing. I don't think they were dominant, but they were very, very good because
Yeah, right.
they can rush the passer with 4 and get pressure. In the current NFL, we talk about it all the time. That's the only way to have a great defense. Rush with 4.
Right, right. You have to run before, right.
So now that Micah is out, and when I watched them last night against the Bears, my guy Rashawn Gary was MIA. Um, so they got very little pressure on Caleb Williams. And I think the only way the Packers could have won the Super Bowl, because I don't think Jordan Love is elite enough to win a game like Mahomes can win a game by just saying, okay, I'm the best player in the field. Or
No,
Josh Allen. He can't win a game like Josh Allen can win a game.
probably not, no.
Okay. So, but if you put him with a B plus 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 defense, yeah, he's good enough that you can win the game or win the game and win a Super Bowl. Let's go over to this game last night, the overtime loss, Ted, to the Bears. That's a bad loss.
Well, you lost, Love early, and he's out, you know, um, you couldn't have expected much offense at that point,
I want to get to that. Keep going.
but you put out you got you can't lose the onside kick.
Not
Not when it's
not with the
not
current rules. Not with the current rules for off onside
and
kicks.
not only that, and they kicked it to your wide receiver.
Yeah,
He's gotta catch the ball.
yeah.
You know, I it because their defense played pretty well.
Now, I think this is assuming Love can't. They have the Ravens this coming weekend.
Right,
After, and then
right.
they have the Vikings to end the season, I believe. They got to win one of those 2 games. If they
Yes,
lose
right,
both
yeah.
those 2 games and
They're
they go 9-7-1, they could be on the outside.
yeah, I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough go if they're not because San Francisco is almost certainly not gonna lose
No.
enough games to get out, to be
No.
knocked out, so, yeah.
Now, Ted, to your point about the offense, I actually thought Malik Willis played very, very well in a backup role. Let me give
Yes,
you
as a backup, yes, as a
Okay, let
backup,
me give you
yeah.
the numbers. 9 for 12, 121 yards and a touchdown, plus 44 rush yards. Let me throw something at you, Ted. He's a free agent after this year, Willis
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Okay. You're the Raiders or the Jets,
yeah,
and you look at what I think is a fairly weak college draft class at the quarterback position, and you clearly need a quarterback.
right.
I might sign Malik Willis.
Well,
Let's
I mean,
remember the year that he came out, there were some people saying he could be a first round pick. He had all the athleticism. And Ted, even our guy Tommy, while
yeah,
he's not a great
Tommy,
announcer, while he's not a great analyst, he does know quarterback play. And he
yeah,
made a comment last night about Willis's throwing motion, that it's really solid. He's got good arm strength. He's big enough. He can move in the current NFL. Ted, if I were the Raiders, and let's say I had the second pick, let's say the Jets get the first pick and they take Mendoza. If I were the Raiders, I think I might sign Willis, trade Geno for whatever scraps you can get, trade down the second pick to get as many picks as you can get, and rebuild that way.
It's not the worst idea in the world because you can't rebuild around Geno Smith, no matter how good he is.
And I don't see another college quarterback worth picking with the second pick. I mean, the kid, everybody says Dante Moore, the kid from Oregon. I don't know. I don't see it.
I'm not sure I'm in love with the kid from Indiana.
I'm not either.
You know,
let's see how he plays throughout these playoffs. If he's the best player in these games, and go, okay, maybe,
yeah. The problem is, here's the problem for Malik Willis, and it's not his fault. He goes to Tennessee. They're not, very, they were in transition. We'll say that, right? Then he's in a backup role in Green Bay, which is fine. And they're, he's certainly in a better offensive system and he's probably getting better coaching. Do you go, and you can't blame him if somebody offers him a chance to start, but going to the Raiders, I mean, who's going to be the coach? It's Carroll.
So here's the thing. So here's the other thing. I would fire Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I'd go find the best young offensive coach I can find, preferably from the McVay coaching tree that's going to bring in the same offense that he's running currently in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire the Green Bay quarterback coach to be my offensive coordinator. Okay. That's my plan.
That's your plan. Well, that's a plan. At least you have a plan. It might be more than the Raiders have, but at least it's a plan. And if you're the Jets and you look at the kid in Indiana and you go, the Jet, and it's been multiple regimes, haven't had a quarterback that they have been able,
Chad Pennington and Mark Sanchez both had a little windows of success, but
yeah, but I mean, Rodgers had, some success in the sense that he played pretty well.
Yeah.
But he was, he's going to the Hall of Fame and he can still play. He played well in spite of their coaching setup. So, I don't know. I mean, I think if I'm Malik Willis, you're probably going to have multiple suitors.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was Malik Willis and the New Orleans Saints with Kellen Moore came calling, I think that's where I would sign.
That's an interesting point also.
Unless you said with the Raiders went out and got, now whoever they get is the quarterback coach that's going to be an upgrade as offensive coordinator. You're going to try. Are you going to try and find a head coach?
I'm going to try and find an offensive oriented head coach.
But who's been a head coach?
No, I just want to find.
That again. You're taking the chance with each. You never know because, as we said, there's a lot of good coordinators, but not a lot of great that aren't great head coaches. So, I think Malik Willis, if he has to play next week and plays pretty well, he's going to get some offers. And if I was him, I would look long and hard at, as your buddy Colin Cowherd likes to say, ownership, GM, coach.
Yeah.
And see if you can find somebody that fits what you're,
the New York Jets would not be my first pick.
No. And I don't think the Raiders, even with your plan, I'm not sure that if I was Malik Willis and the Raiders came calling, I think I would be happy if they kept Geno around to take the pounding for the first, 6 or 7 games and then step in afterwards when everything more or less gets established.
Before we go to the Valhalla Room, I do want to make a comment about the Bears game last night and specifically quarterback Caleb Williams. Ted, this was a huge step for him, in my opinion, playing without 2 of his top 3 wide receivers in very tough conditions.
Yeah.
He goes 19 for 34, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Ted, the game-tying pass in the corner of the end zone to the rookie wide receiver who never plays.
Right.
And then the long throw to Moore for the touchdown. Those combined are about
those are really good throws. Yeah.
And the fact that we're just talking about Malik Willis. Compare Caleb Williams last year with the Eberflus and that whole coaching regime to Ben Johnson in this coaching regime. Cowherd is right. Coaching really matters when it comes to young quarterback play.
Right.
But Ted, I'm not crazy about this defense,
No.
but Ted, they lead the NFL in takeaways.
Well, that's a nice stat to leave in. If you're not a great defensive team, but you can take the ball away a couple of times, yeah, I mean that's
Okay, I think they're a long shot to make the Super Bowl this year,
yeah,
but they've already beaten the Eagles in Philadelphia.
yeah.
Do the Rams or the Seahawks or the Niners, any of those teams scare you to think the Bears couldn't beat them team in a one-game situation?
I No, probably not. But I think the Rams in particular, if they play, I think their defense could bottle them up a little bit, and they're going to score points.
Now I looked at it. They're not sitting on a lot of salary cap space next year, the Bears.
Yeah,
But Ted, they've got one player that I don't even recognize who he is. He's a defensive end. He's got sort of an African last name, Ojalawin or something like that. I haven't seen him make a play all year long. He's making 21 million next year. You cut him
unless
loose. You now
unless
have
he's hurt. Unless he's hurt.
okay,
Yeah,
and then but you cut him loose, and now you have 30 million because they have like 8 million in salary cap space
yeah,
with him on the books. So you cut him loose, you get 30 million in salary cap space. You draft with your two top picks, try and find an edge rusher in there.
yeah.
Montez Sweat is not going to be
Right, right,
a dominant pass rusher. You get hopefully you find a good pass rusher and one other really good defensive player. Maybe you go get one in free agency. If they
right,
find the right pieces defensively next year,
right, right. Well, yeah, it's potentially good, but then you always run into the same problem that a team like Washington ran into this year. The
schedule.
schedule is going to be upgraded.
But the next 2 years, Ted,
Have to be, yeah.
They've got Williams on the rookie contract, and so they got a lot of space to fill in around him
Yes,
and
yeah.
go
This
go
is their
for it.
window.
The
Yeah, this
next
is
two
their
years
window.
are the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have to go for it now. Yeah, they have to
Okay.
spend the money now.
All right, here we go, Ted. Let's see if we can make this last sound effect work. Here we go, Ted. You ready? Here we go.
Man,
That makes Ted's heart happy when he can hear
yeah.
that horn.
Well, and I'm very impressed that you figured out how to do this. Was it my idea?
Yes, the computer's sitting next to
Yeah. Okay. All
there you
right.
go.
All right. All right.
All right, so before last week, Ted, you were 19.
Teamwork. It's teamwork.
Teamwork that makes the dream
Right.
work, Ted.
Yeah.
Before last week, you were 19 and 19, and I was 15 and 23. You got the Bills. I
Yeah.
got the Broncos. We both got the Rams. So we were both 2 and 1. So for the season, you're at 21 and 20, and I'm at 17 and 24.
All right.
Okay.
We'll quit it right there. Start.
All right. Now, Ted, only 3 games this week to pick.
Okay.
And this is an interesting one. I did not think at this point in the season I'd be throwing out Panthers games for picks, but this is a game to probably decide who wins this division.
Right.
2 7-7 teams. The Bucks are reeling 1-5 in their last 6 game. Ted,
Yeah.
go on the road to Carolina and Tampa Bay is favored by 1.5 on the road against the Panthers.
Wow. So it's a pick 'em.
Yeah, it really is.
You want to say Tampa because they've been there, they've done it, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going with youth and inexperience because that seems to be the way of the league this year. I'm going to give the Panthers a nod.
Okay, Ted. Last week,
and because I don't think I've ever picked the Panthers. we probably haven't had the Panthers on the board in 3 years, and
you know how every team has to have at least one primetime slot, so you always get like the Browns in week 2 on Thursday night.
Right. Yeah.
So from now on, we'll have to be picking the Panthers in week 2 for some game.
Right.
Ted, last week you said the Broncos and the Patriots can't keep winning all in a row. Right. I'm going to use the reverse logic and say at some point the Bucks have to win.
Right. That's yeah. Okay.
So I'm using the Ted reverse logic. I'm going Bucks and my boy Baker to come up big on the road. Okay.
I was 1 for 2 in that.
Yes, you were. So
it's not bad.
All right. Let's go then to the next game. I love this game, Ted.
And if your Packers had run the ball, maybe I would have been 2-0. But I'm not going to.
And Ted, it's fascinating. Last night, one of the critical plays in the game was my guy Josh Jacobs, who I love, fumbling the ball on the 5-yard line.
Yeah. Well, it was cold.
Yeah. Okay, Ted. The 11.
Did he have his gloves on? I don't remember.
They all wear their gloves, Ted. Heaven forbid. There's nobody going gloveless in the skill position anymore in the NFL.
No, that's probably true. Yeah.
All right, Ted. The 11-3 Patriots try to rebound off the tough loss, and they go to Baltimore. Go to Balmer.
Yeah.
and face the 7-7 Ravens. At home, the Ravens are favored by 2.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are going to win that game. They played so well last week. I mean, they just beat the Bengals up, and I'm hoping for this pick that this is the start of a trend for them for the next couple weeks because they have to win out.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots, even if they lose, probably make the playoffs.
Yes. See, this is really a hard pick because, like we talked about it, on paper, the Ravens, if you stacked up the teams and said who is the
Right.
best player 1 through 100, probably 2/3 of them would be Ravens players. But Ted, I love Vrabel.
Yeah.
I love Vrabel. Give me the Patriots.
Okay.
All right. Last game on the board. I'm shocked by this spread, Ted.
Okay.
And I forgot to look. Gosh darn it! I forgot to look and see what the record for the Steelers are. Are they 8-6 now? I think they are.
I think they would be. Yeah.
Okay, so the Steelers. So you got 2 8-6 teams. The 8-6 Steelers go on the road to Detroit to face the 8-6 Lions at home. Ted.
Yeah.
The Lions are favored by 7 at home.
Wow. That's a big spread because they can't stop anybody. And the Steelers played well enough against Baltimore.
I'm going to look something up while you're talking. I forgot to look something up here because this could be. I'm going to look something up here.
This is an interesting game because the Steelers' defense has underperformed all year.
Yes.
And the Lions can score, but they can't stop anybody.
All right. So, Ted, I see a couple of reports here. One report
Watt's
says
not playing.
Okay,
right?
so in one report he says he's hopeful. In the other report it says remains sidelined.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing. I mean, he had punctured lung.
Yeah.
I mean, how deep is a needle in dry needling that they punctured his lung? That's crazy.
Oh, is that how it happened?
Yeah, they were dry needling something, and that's what I read somewhere.
Wow.
Is that it was a dry needling accident.
Wow.
Man.
That guy's not the official dry needler anymore for the Steelers.
No, he's not. He can have a punctured lung on the third place kick holder, but not on DJ Watt.
All right, who you got here, Ted?
If that's true, I don't know. I mean, that was one report was that it was a dry needling incident. I don't know. And by the way, you should do the cup thing because you could never have that.
I've had the cup thing done. I've had dry needling done. None of it worked from my back.
Okay.
I've had acupuncture.
Okay, none of it works. Okay.
None of it works.
I think I'm gonna pick the Lions to cover because I think they can score. I just don't know. I have so little faith in the Steelers offense that I think that the Lions could go out and put up 30 and the Steelers could score 20 but still lose on the 7-point thing.
So Ted, we're gonna have, this is the first week in a while we're gonna have a big spread here because I'm gonna go Steelers. I think the Lions win, but I think the Lions win 34-28, something along those lines. So I'll take the Steelers in the points.
I got all the home.
You got all the home teams. I got all. I'm a road warrior this week.
Yes,
Ted.
you are. You're the road warrior. Yeah.
There you go. All right, that was a good discussion. Thank you to our fans for listening. Hoping you're enjoying these episodes. Please continue to follow us here on millions.co. Also,
and we'll try and get Phil when you play up back.
Oh God, would I love to see that number 44, Ted. Here's what I remember about this season. This is some more talk to make Mom happy, remembering those days. Hopefully, Mom has made it to this point of the episode. Dad gave me number 44 because he said he was going to make me the backup at every position.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So one game, Eric Kuhn got hurt, and I played center for like a half a game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was like the jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that now because I had to all of a sudden really squat. Had sore calves after that game.
I don't remember who was it against, Ted. I don't remember. As the executive producer says, you can remember a base hit from 35, 40 years ago, but you can't remember what I had dinner last night. And I said, well,
what are you going to do? Yeah.
I do remember that game on the ice and Ted, what I remember is in the first half, they had their DNs crashing the whole game. You remember how Dad
Yeah.
used to teach the D end or the outside linebacker 3 steps up the field and no one
Yeah,
gets outside of you? They
yeah.
weren't worried about in that first half. They were just
Not in the
crashing,
first
crashing,
half, but
crashing.
yeah, but when the second half, when we started to be able to throw the ball and get around a little bit on the outside, that ended that in a hurry.
That did. There you go. All right, back to our exit here. Please follow us on all of our social media sites. Ted, yes, if you've got a picture, put on Ted, I might put on Instagram a picture of us wearing my number 44 jersey.
There you go. If you can find it, go for it, I guess.
I'm pretty certain I've got one. I got to
Okay,
find one.
well, there you go.
All right. So thank you again.
They won't recognize you, you'll have hair.
Ted, I had a beautiful, and that's when I had I was super
You
blonde.
had a mane, yeah,
I
you had a
remember
mane.
it was a beautiful blonde mane.
Okay.
And Ted, I have a picture of the three of us, you and Dad and I. Dad's in the middle holding the ball, and we both have a hand on the ball.
Yeah.
And Dad's got his Vitalis comb over
Yeah,
going,
sure, yeah.
looking very. He looks very Hayden Fox esque from that TV show.
Okay.
You remember the coach show
Yeah, I
with
do remember the
Craig T.
show, yeah.
Nelson?
Yeah.
Yes, he's got that coach scowl going.
Yeah, well, yeah. Did that a lot anyway, so it's okay.
Anyway, we talk Calverton football all day long.
Oh, let's not. Let's not. Let's not say we did.
There you go. Okay. Check us out Instagram, X, Facebook. Check us out on YouTube channel. And you can also email us at grumpybrothersports@gmail.com if you want some more highlights from Calverton
Yeah.
85-pound football. And with that, we'll say good night, and we promise to do better next time.